What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Work Smart, Not Hard Live. This is a weekly mastermind group that meets every Sunday at 2:30. What time is it for you, Rita? 12:30 my time, but I live in Nicaragua.
11:30. Yeah, it's 11:30 in California.
11:30 in California. All right. I said 2:30, but that's Eastern time. 2:30 Eastern time. 11. Oh my gosh,
Oh
so
no,
many different time zones.
11, 12, 31. Oh, you're right. Oh yeah. Okay, carry on.
So, every week we meet and we talk about what we did over the week and we set up some daily tasks. I recently changed the format. We have experimented a lot with different kinds of goals and these. But in general, I personally think goals are dumb. I know, Rita, you also feel this way. I value that. Not everybody
Goals are
feels this way.
garbage. Goals are garbage.
Yes, goals are garbage. So we've changed the format of the task. So now there's an intention, which is the thing you're trying to make happen. And then there's your daily. And the daily is the thing you do every day to try and make your thing happen. So this means that, if your intention doesn't happen, whatever, that's not part of it. You just, as long as you do the little tiny 5-minute thing every day, that's the goal, right? So we also pick a course or a YouTube video to watch and then to talk about in the beginning of the next lecture, next meeting. I'm in course mentality. I was just working on the Spanish content web. So the video that we watched was a YouTube video about a service called Slack. Some of you probably already know what this is, so I'm not going to fuss about it too much. But I actually didn't know too much about Slack. And now I learned that there's one sentence you can use to understand what Slack does. And apparently, Slack's purpose is to replace email communication. Once I understood that, then it made a lot more sense. So we watched, where's the video we watched? It's not actually here. But here's a better video that you can watch that was more on point. I liked how this guy made the video. I actually really liked both. The first one was more videography perspective. But Slack's main purpose is to just replace your company's email communication with each other. And there were some really interesting metrics that were shared in these YouTube videos. One of them was the kind of ideal of transparency. So the guy was basically saying that you want more transparency in your company so that your employees can have a better sense of trust with each other. And one of the problems with email is that it only goes to the people you are sending it to, and then you can choose to CC other people so they're aware. But I mean, seriously, does anybody enjoy spending hours of their day looking through emails and seeing the things they were CC'd on? It's a really, really wasteful time expenditure. I remember when I was younger, my mother would always be like, "Jack, I have to look through 10,000 emails today." And I would be like, "Why are you doing that, Mom?" And she'd be like, "Because I have to for work." And then that was it, because they were using email, and it's effective at direct communication, but when you are coordinating within a company, it can be quite an ineffective way to communicate. So Slack is honestly quite similar to Facebook or WhatsApp. It's just like more professional. So you can get on your Slack channel, and when you're on Slack, that's just for your work. That's how you know that you're available. People can talk to you about your work. People in your group can see what you're talking about. It's a kind of social media, but it's more about the direct people you're working with. And the way that the video set it up was that you want to have about 80% of the people on your channel to be talking publicly, because this increases trust and increases communication in general. Whereas if you just have people talking privately, then there's a lot of redundancy and people are sharing things multiple times, etc., etc. I also personally find that when people are being recorded, they are their best self. They try harder. So I totally like the idea of people being public more often. But I understand that that's a big gripe for a lot of other people. Anyway, that was just my perspective. I know both of you guys actually watch stuff about Slack. So what's up, Kimmy? Thanks for joining.
Am I here?
Howdy.
Okay, there we go. Hello. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to use that with my prep customers, but I think it'll work.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I get it
Yeah,
now.
that's why I'm trying to. Yeah, that's my.
Oh, okay.
So for like my returns and for all that kind of stuff, for keeping it all organized and with my team members and who's working on who and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, and that's also very much like, I feel like the people who are using your prep center, they would probably benefit from knowing the other ones who were using it. I don't know. Sounds cool.
or at least the team members are doing that end. I don't know if I'd have. I don't know because they're not going to want to see each other's products, so I probably wouldn't have it with them to see each other. That's what I'm trying to figure out which level of that with. But like my different preppers would see it because they would know, okay, well, this person received, like they sent the wrong product or this arrived broken, that kind of thing, so that we could communicate. And then if they have the return labels, because
So
the
you're
customers
talking
get
about a way for your organization to communicate internally.
right, and
Got
with
it.
the customers themselves. So I don't know. It looked like there could be private channels between
Yep.
Each customer. So that's what appeals to me because then the customer would know exactly who's doing what with their products.
Yeah.
Which ones are broken, which ones are being sent in, or which ones have issues. Yeah, that kind of thing.
How often does stuff like break and it's because somebody in house made a mistake? Or is it usually because like they arrive broken and got messed up at
Yeah,
shipping?
it's pretty much all. I haven't had anything, knock on wood, somewhere, being broken in house. We're pretty careful with it, but a lot of it arrives broken. Because it's thrown in the trucks more than it's thrown here. Once it gets to us, we're packaging it.
Yeah.
But FedEx will throw stuff out, or not to single out FedEx, but any delivery company will throw things out of the back of their truck when they get here. Yeah, it's just kind of. Yeah, especially depending on the day. So
I have a close friend who works in the postal service, and he's always like, "Why do people write fragile on boxes? Like,
right?
nobody reads it, and I'm telling you, we just throw them around everywhere. Like, don't
You're
write
hoping
fragile.
that
Use
somebody
more
would
bubble
notice.
wrap."
It's a grasp in the dark.
Yeah.
Just hoping that somebody sees that it's fragile and maybe doesn't throw it as hard. Right. Yep.
So how was your takeaway, Rita?
They're putting shelves in here, so I'm going to go back on mute until I'm needed.
Okay.
So you don't have to hear with that.
Yeah, I like the course. It was short and sweet, to the point for the most part. And in this case, I think I mentioned in the Discord, I liked it enough that I wanted to just see what some of the other stuff he was talking about.
Yeah.
It's a little fluffy, like it's not the course itself, but this other stuff that he talks about. I think it's kind of up our alley, but it's he's a little short on the details, so I'm not sure. But I don't know. I just thought he goes on these conferences and they talk about cool stuff, and so you get little blurbs of it and everything. But anyway, he also talked about, one of his videos talked about how Steve Jobs actually visualized a Slack type thing back in the late 70s. Like he described it as there was a conference or something, and he describes basically what Slack is, but he never really worked on it because he was busy. But
Probably a person who's eternally busy.
I think it's okay. It's like anything else. You have to know how to use it. Like it's like anything else, I guess. Because you could still, I think he talked about that on that video. You could still get lost on the Slack thread too. I don't know if they call them threads, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could still have this big long ass conversation, and it may or may not apply to you, and you know what I mean? You could get lost on any of these platforms, I think, if
that's the main reason I don't pay attention at Facebook, because it's, on one hand, it's so useful, but it's also so likely to consume archaically ridiculous amounts of time. It's just
Yeah.
absurd. And like, I want to be more effective, not just be putting myself into the energies of random things. I mean, like, that's okay sometimes, but most of the time, I have a pretty clear understanding of what I want to towards. I don't really need to be like around a whole
Yeah.
bunch of different energies or going different places and worrying about things that I can't do anything about.
Yeah, that. So, yeah, it takes a lot of, I guess, discipline to deal with any of it. The emails are the same way. You know, emails, I don't get that many anymore, I guess, somehow. I guess everybody's just moved over to social media. But, you know, back in the day, you'd get all these chain emails or, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I've trained a couple of friends.
Pretty good now.
Huh?
The AI,
Yeah.
I remember noticing at some point that the spam detection ability of like Gmail just got way better than it used to.
Yeah,
I used
you're
to
right.
actually
That's
get
probably
spam mail, whereas now I see spam mail if I look at my spam box, and I'm like, whoa, look at all these mails, and then I look at them and I'm like, it's completely right. None of these were important. None of these had anything to do with me, and it knew every single time. Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, maybe Google's slightly better. I mean, I still use my old Yahoo account because it works, and sometimes stuff slips into the spam that shouldn't be there, but nothing horrible's happened. So, I mean, nothing's important, you know.
Yeah.
But I love the. I also love the filtering ability with the emails. You know, like Poshmark had so many. I was getting so many stupid emails, notification emails. Like I hadn't sold anything. It was just all this shit, you know. And so I made a Poshmark filter, and everything that said Poshmark on it went to the Poshmark section. I didn't have to see it all.
Yeah, I did the same thing with eBay.
Yeah, and Facebook is better now at also, you know, they have AI and they know what you like and don't like, and you know, they know whose stuff that I respond to most, and so they're all that stuff. Well, yeah, whose post that I like, you know, click the like button a lot and maybe comment on or whatever. All that stuff ends up at the top. So that's good. And now I just have to change it back to dogs, like I started, and get away from the stop clicking on political stuff, which I have. I try not to even get on there now, but lately. But
that's a good point, because if you engage with a political thing once, then Facebook's like, oh, you want more political stuff? Okay, here you go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so it really kind of goes back to the law of attraction. You know, they say you attract what you are, and you attract, what you're thinking about
and what you do.
It's quite literal on Facebook. It's quite literally happening with technology rather than on a spiritual realm. So it's kind of interesting. So yeah, so I like the course. I like the little short courses that are to the point like that. Some things need to be more complex, but I like that. I like those courses.
Yeah,
I didn't listen to the second one.
The second one was good. I listened to like 3/4 of it. The guy was way more. The first guy was really speaking towards other. Wow, I forgot what the word. Corporate mentality people. Whereas the second guy was speaking towards general users of Slack. And like just because you're using Slack for at work doesn't mean it's with a corporate mentality. But I think that was the main distinction. Whereas the second guy was very much like, this is Slack, this is how it works, this is what it looks like, this is what it does, boom, 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 and then.
So he was even more down to more brass tacks. Get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out, but I don't anticipate me using it for anything at this time. But it's always good to just know what's going on in the world.
It's good to be more updated about the platforms other large amounts of other people are using.
Yeah, and like I said, it kind of got me interested in this other thing he was talking about, which it's all very interesting. With like you've talked about automation coming down the pike and everything else that's gone on recently. People are really going to have to, instead of, just for their own good, instead of whining about some of the opportunities that have gone away, they've got to retrain themselves to do something else. And when I say they, I mean me too. All of us. We all have to stay current because the world is changing fast, and if we get left behind, there's no excuse. We've had plenty of warning. We've known for at least a couple years they've really been talking up the automation thing. At least 2 years, maybe actually longer, but like really talking it up probably the last 2 years. So, we have time. We have time. Still have time to get into other things, I think, a lot of us. So,
yeah, our hearts are still
just figuring out what
we're
that is.
alive. That means we got time.
Yep. So, yeah.
How was your daily thing?
Well, all I promised to do was to open the course, I think, the YouTube thing. So I accomplished my thing. I didn't make a daily 5-minute thing.
No, I guess I missed it. You did. It was something else, though. Heck.
Was I working on my song? I was supposed to work on my song.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it wasn't the song. That was before. It was the dog stuff.
Advanced dog walking stuff. That's right.
Dog activities and stuff like that. So yeah, and I might get a book and read just get some more, If I was younger, I'd probably, at this point, I might go to like animal behavior college or something, but but you don't really have to. If you've got YouTube, you can learn and you can make a YouTube channel. Like, getting a degree is no guarantee of anything. So.
Yeah, especially now.
I don't know if I told you, Jack, but I'm sure Kimmy probably heard this from me. There's this lady on YouTube, and I don't think she has a doctorate or any kind of letters after her name, but she has a website called a YouTube channel called Crappy Childhood Fairy. She calls herself the Crappy Childhood Fairy, and
okay.
Yeah. And so she just basically, helps people that feel like they had a childhood where they were, it could apply to almost anybody. We all kind of feel that way sometimes, it felt like they were neglected in some way or even abused. She's not, and I think she does advise people having serious problems to seek professional help and stuff like that. But she just, it's been a while since I looked at it, but she just talks about coping mechanisms, how to handle things in a healthier way and stuff like that. But I don't even know that she had a degree, because I kind of remember looking, and I don't think I saw anything about her having a degree or anything. She just is somebody who has recovered, because of, her journey and so forth, and wants to help people. And then she did what you talk about, Jack. She, started her channel, and she helps people. And then she has if you want to go deeper, then she has, I think, $100 course that you can take, that you can order from her. So I thought it was kind of interesting, what you can do.
Oh, I'm looking at their website now. That is super.
You don't see anything about
childhood people. That's
yeah. And I don't think I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't think that she has any kind of credentials. She's just trying to help people. So there you go.
Yeah, you have to be really careful about your language.
Yeah.
If you ever say, like, that's probably why she uses the word heal. You can probably use the word heal, but if you, you can't make something like, you can treat childhood. You can't ever say that you are offering a treatment for a disease.
Right.
And you have to learn the specific words that you're not allowed to use unless you're a doctor.
Sure.
It's not so much that being a doctor enables you to use those words. It's just that if you use certain words, then people have an easier argument suing you and attacking you. So you have to kind of defend yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just, you could literally, I literally, dog training, you are not required to have any training. to be a dog trainer. I could literally call, study some stuff about dogs and call. I wouldn't do it probably, but it wouldn't preclude you from going on the internet and sharing what you're learning either. So yeah, it's interesting. There's just so much. There really is so much opportunity out there. It's crazy.
Remarkable how many different ways there are to have content and a membership website and do that. Varying from treating PTSD to teaching people to earn money online to porn. Like, they all use that same exact method.
Uh-huh.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, my daily worked surprisingly well because my goal was basically, I understand that the thing I really should be working on is the Spanish content website. For whatever reason, I didn't want to work on it. So I was making YouTube videos, and I was supposed to just record one video per day. And I think I actually was one short. I ended up publishing 4 videos and recording one, but then I didn't do any past that. No, sorry, there was one I recorded but then didn't publish, but that didn't matter because the publishing part wasn't part of it.
Yeah,
but that was really
that sounds great.
because I got a couple videos out, and then I got that out of my system, and then I ended up working on the Spanish content website, and I realized that all that I have to do now is make a long narrative. Like, I have to write, which is really interesting because I see that the problem is that I'm so used to just making videos and the first step is pressing record. But that mentality doesn't work with this because I'm not fluent in Spanish and I need to write scripts. The reality is the beginning of the video is, of course, writing the outline. I noticed that before, but now I have to write a script to a video, and I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't really realizing, oh, I have to actually write the scripts. But that's all that I have to do. So it's almost...
Do most YouTubers use a script? Like, does Chris Lynn use a script?
A lot of people
use
I
thought he must. I mean, how would you...
So most YouTubers who have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers making effective content, they use script. Like, if you're seeing animations in their video, it's a script. But if you're seeing, like, Chris doesn't script. I'm sure he has like notes in some cases when he's making a longer video, but I know that like most of the time he's talking through train of thought. He's not like writing a script and then failing it out. And you can also tell by the way someone's speaking if they're reading from a you can hide that in a YouTube video by making it really good, having a lot of other distractions, that kind of thing. But ultimately, it's obvious there's no way they were just doing that in one take. Like,
yeah. Interesting.
But so I worked on that more, and also one thing that's so great about the Spanish content website is even if I don't work on it, I end up talking to somebody who shows that they would benefit from it existing. Like, I really need a Spanish product that I can just give to the tons of people I talk about who are like, I want to learn to use the internet and earn money. And like, that's a regular part of my life is people are like, oh, how do you earn money? Whoa, that's cool. I want to do that. And I'm like, okay, you can do it. Nothing's stopping you. And then that's like, oh, I don't have like a database to give. So it really, I had a couple conversations with people that made me like, okay, I just need to work on this every day, and I know I'll be happier if I'm doing that. Now I understand that recording isn't how to start that. Writing is how to start that. So basically, I just need to keep writing every day about the Spanish. So that's what my thing for the next week is, that my intention is to progress the Spanish content website forward. Because I know that once I have it out, I'll feel like I did something. And I'll have a resource that it's going to be very useful for a lot of different. So that's my intention. And the thing I'm doing every day is writing more of the script. Because basically, I can just make a really, really, really long script. I already started it, actually, like these. So each one is a paragraph that talks about something specific. And I just keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. And then in the future, I just convert each little snippet into a video, an audio file of speaking Spanish, and then I can change the order. I can do whatever I want with them and put it in the order that makes the most sense to teach in the courses on the website. Because basically, the website, to actually have it have the course functionality, requires a yearly payment of $100-something. So I don't want to do that until I actually have the content, because then I can make the payment, upload the videos, and boom, I'm ready. Instead of making the payment now when I don't even have the videos yet, what's the point, right? So my daily thing is to write the more Spanish script every day. And the way I do that is just by thinking about Nicaraguan people and what their headspace is, where their mentality is, and how I can get them to feel that they have an advantage because they're Nicaraguan. Because a lot of people here think they have a disadvantage, and that's actually wrong. I had to change my mentality and change my country. They only have to change their mentality. They don't have to move to another country. And that part is hugely valuable, because moving to another country is hard, and it's very unlikely that anyone's going to do it. So if you don't have to do that, that's an opportunity. So even though they have less access to traditional opportunities, the money they earn online goes so much further that I think that it is actually better to start from a country like Nicaragua versus the United States, because you have so many more options in the United States, and it's it's
I just
hard.
have a question about that. I've been wondering about something for a while about that.
Okay.
Forgive me for my ignorance. Are most YouTube channels in English, and is that important? I mean, like, if say like somebody who's taking your course, they may not speak English, but that's, I don't know. Maybe they would. I don't know. But just saying, like, do they need to be able to speak English to
So,
reach enough people to make money?
no, but it's very helpful.
Okay.
Learning English is one of the most monetizable talents somebody in Latin America has access. If they can
Right.
speak English fluently, their like wage like quadruples basically. It goes up a lot. Like
Oh,
statistically, that's kind of how it works. And they don't have to, though. It's completely possible. Like basically any YouTube channel can be in a different language. YouTube is used so prolifically that if you speak Farsi, you can find Farsi videos on
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
If you
I'm
speak
sure.
Spanish, you
It's,
can find loads
yeah,
of content. The thing that it
yeah.
changes is how you access the money, because you can't easily earn advertising revenue if you're making videos from a foreign country speaking in a language other than English. It's hard. Whereas if you have a US company, then you can open an AdSense account and then you can earn advertising revenue from any language. But you do have a limitation on earning advertisement revenue when you're from a non-European or a non-US country. However, that isn't damning. There's tons of other things that balance it out, like the fact that you have exponentially less competition. There's way less
Yeah.
people who understand that you can use the opportunity that way than in certain parts of the English speaking world. So while it may be true that something's more inconvenient, that doesn't mean that at the end of the day it's not an opportunity. It's
No,
just
it could
like,
be a really great opportunity for people who want to reach other Spanish-speaking people, and if there's not a lot of content, not relative to English-speaking content, I mean, then it does seem like it would be a good opportunity.
yeah, for YouTube there is absolutely loads of foreign language content. Like to the point where you can consider the amount of English content so big you can't watch it all, and the same
Right.
thing for a lot of other languages.
That's kind of mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of mind blowing. And the only reason you don't see it is because if you're not putting in a Spanish word, nothing's really going to come up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it's kind of funny. I've never put a Spanish word in the search on YouTube to see. I'll have to do that sometime just to get an idea about it. But and then I also am remembering that they do have the translate for a lot of things now too. So if somebody really wants the content, they can.
The captions get auto-translated.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Udemy does that as well.
Nice.
Let me write my thing real quick. Awesome. Do you want to do your thing, Rita? Or Kimmy? Whichever one of you would prefer to go next.
There we go. I actually did not even get to do anything with doing any kind of videos this week, even though I had wanted to. I ended up changing some staff around here, so I ended up doing a little bit more and
Watch the
had some
Slack
family come into town to
video.
help. What's that?
You watched the Slack video though.
I did, but my challenge was to get them some things started for the prep center how-to videos, and that I did not do.
Yeah.
But it's a new week.
Yeah.
Onward and on.
No,
Onward and upward.
In order to effectively predict our tasks, we have to fail to predict our tasks sometimes. You know?
There we go. I failed to predict my task.
So what do you want to do this week?
I'm going to shoot for the same task because I really need to get that done, but it was not possible this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
So why do you think it'll be more possible?
Because I have 2 new staff, one returning this week and one starting this week. And last week I had staff that did not show up and were eliminated. So that's the difference.
That'll do it. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So is that something that's more common now with COVID, or how are people's work ethics? Because I don't have any employees. I don't know how people's morale is. How is the situation affecting employees?
Well, in the U.S., this doesn't really have anything to do with my situation. That was just some people that were just not. They were young and they were just being a little more impulsive than they needed to be.
Okay.
But generally, the whole climate right now is because of all of the benefits that have been given. People don't really have any incentive to go to work. Like I'm actually working with an employment agency right now just for some temporary help. And they said they're having an extremely hard time. Most of the warehouses in my area have to start people at 16 an hour and they're still not getting jobs filled because the government perks are actually higher than that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I believe that because my roommate just is eligible for unemployment in Virginia. And what's interesting is he didn't get fired for COVID or lose a job, but because he willingly chose to leave a previous job and now is every day looking for a job, and he's in a school to get a programming job. Because of his unique circumstance and being in Virginia, he's actually eligible for unemployment. And what blows my mind is he's getting $357 per week, which is here like a college educated person will get between $600 and $800 a month. So he's getting almost double that just from unemployment. And what's crazy is that CARES Act added $600 per week to unemployment benefits right now. So if you are successfully on unemployment, you are ludicrously well off. It is so bizarre.
And it's going to be really interesting come Q4 because where I'm at, the warehouses, like I've got 2 Amazon warehouses located near me. I've got many other like Home Depot warehouses, things like that, distribution centers, all within 40 minutes of me. And literally they're all fighting for employees at Q4. And especially now with internet job or with e-commerce being so popular, most people are buying from those sites. So they're in more demand, but to get the employees, they're having, super difficulty. I mean, I'm only like 2 hours north of 81, down into Virginia and Ashburn area. So and I have family down there that's actually working for Lululemon or whatever. and they shut down their stores, but she's still going in to do e-commerce orders twice a week, things like that.
Yeah.
So they kept her hired. But like, there's a lot of things like that it's just like the jobs are there for the e-commerce side, even though they had to lay off their employees that were in the store. But they're still making their money with the e-commerce side of things.
Oh
so
man, we're in such a crazy time.
it is.
Wow.
It's very crazy. Yeah.
It's funny because there was a one point in my past, I was really sick. I was on treatment and I couldn't work that much. And I had a part-time job at Starbucks, and I got on government assistance and got food stamps. And they gave me like $36 a month. And it's just weird, like how different your government assistance can vary. Because right now my friend from Virginia is getting $900 something per week.
Now, is he in the Ashburn side or on the Wheeling side?
No,
Like-
he's technically in, because he's here with me in Nicaragua.
Oh, gotcha.
Technically, he resides in Fairfax.
Okay, so he's really making out well if he's actually in Nicaragua.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. And what's so crazy is he's not, like, he didn't lose a job from COVID, but he just happens to be in a situation where if he answers all the questions honestly, he's eligible for unemployment in Virginia. Whereas for me, I live in West Virginia, and the benefits between West Virginia and Virginia are crazy. Like, West Virginia is very low benefit. Like, for example, in West Virginia, like, because I technically reside in the U.S., even though I live a good life in Nicaragua, by financial standards in the U.S., I'm under poverty. So I'm eligible for certain things like Medicaid or Medicare. I always get these confused.
I don't even know.
Okay. One is for retiring people, and one is for poor people. Okay. So I got back and I visited, and there was a card for me, an insurance card in the mail, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I have health insurance. And then I tried to use it, and I learned that it doesn't cover vision or dental or preventative care. How the fuck do you not cover preventative care? It is the cheapest form of health insurance.
Right.
Like, that's so insane. Like, meanwhile, here in Nicaragua, I can go break an arm, go into a hospital, get treated for free in like a day.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Oh man, that's a whole other.
Oh, Jack. So Jack, even as a non-citizen, they'll treat you for free just because you live there?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. That's amazing.
Normal, Rita. That is normal in most of the world.
I know. It's just so crazy. I remember once my ex-husband broke his finger, and for some reason we called an ambulance. We didn't know better. We were young. And the thing ended up costing us like $1,500 or something for a broken finger.
An ambulance ride is at least $1,000.
Yeah, maybe not back then, but I bet. Yeah, I'm sure it is now. Yeah. It was like 800 at that time, I think, a few number of years ago. But isn't that crazy? A ride to the what were we thinking? Calling an ambulance? We just didn't know. Well, we thought, and we had insurance too, by the way, but it doesn't cover the ambulance, I guess. I don't know. Ooh, it's like, what are we paying for here?
Well, Rita, are you in California now?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
North or south?
South.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I've been here for about 27 years. I'm originally from back east, though. And you're in Virginia, Kimmy?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I'm like 2 hours from the line.
Okay. I have relatives in Pittsburgh.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm on the East End.
Here to look at the chat.
What's
real
up?
Quick.
Okay.
Medicaid
Carlisle.
was the answer. Thank you, luxury card store.
What was it? Medicaid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned these glasses actually. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the history of glasses, but when I used to get glasses, they would cost between like $200 and $400. And now, without insurance, you can just get glasses online, and these with shipping cost $60. And they're like transition lenses and stuff. And like, I think I'm talking about this because this is the devil's advocate in me about the U.S. because we just shat on the U.S.'s healthcare system. So now I have to point out that private industries eventually do make things very cheap, like they did with glass crafting. Because now, I think there was also some law that passed that changed the way that prescriptions work so that people were more able to manufacture and sell glasses without having a medical license. Because sometimes you want people to have a medical license, but in other times it just fuels corruption if other people can't pursue like a business interest. Complicated. But I'm very happy. These have like blown my mind. They were really cheap. They arrived. I've been using them every day. I don't fuck my eyes up with getting contact lenses in my face all day
Where did they
anymore.
come from? The U.S. or Nicaragua? Where'd you?
US.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of websites now that you can just go to. You don't even need a doctor's like actual prescription. If you know your prescription, you can just write in the prescription in the text field. And then if that doesn't work in your state, you can just have it delivered to another state and forwarded to you. Like it's amazing. So you really
Oh, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
you don't even have to go to the doctor now to get it. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, as long as you
I like the
actually
sound
know
of
your
that.
prescription. And
Well, you could just try other people's or whatever.
yeah. It's a bit
That's nothing.
complicated. If you just have regular, like you're either just farsighted or nearsighted, it's really easy. There's a lot of
Okay.
ways to learn your prescription. The complication is when your eyes have differences.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
mine, for example, one is a bit squeezed. I don't know what that's called.
Do you know which website that was that you got your glasses from?
Zenni Optical.
Zenni. Okay.
ENNI. And that wasn't. These weren't even. These were like upper mid price tier on the website. Like you can get a pair of glasses that are prescription for like $15 including shipping.
Wow.
It's amazing. Like it's so cheap. And this is zero health insurance. You don't even say your health insurance number or anything.
Sorry, tape.
So good. I recognize that noise immediately.
I love that noise. I'm kidding. It means you're shipping something.
Here you go.
Means something's good's happening when this tape's going.
Yeah.
Right. Things are going out the door.
So what about you, Rita? What's your intent?
I'm gonna watch a video every day of some sort of dog training, and I want to focus on play training.
Okay.
So play training is where you use different tools and play games and things like that. That actually you can use them to train dogs in a really happy way.
So I'm going to YouTube right now. I search for dog play training. Oh wow, there's a lot of different.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to watch.
Play fat perfectly. Dog training fundamentals. What to do about your dog's separation anxiety.
Oh yeah, there's so much stuff about dogs on the internet. It's crazy, and it's so it is a competitive field on YouTube. It's pretty competitive. So maybe eventually I'll come up with some kind of niche.
Apparently, actually, dog play training is an incredibly good keyword to target. Just so you know.
To target for what, though? What do you mean by target?
So whenever there's a keyword, you can do keyword research to determine how many people are searching for a specific.
You're saying it's popular. It's popular.
No,
people
not
look
just
it up
popular,
a lot.
but the amount of people who are using that keyword relative to its popularity is very low. So if you search for dogs, then it's incredibly competitive. And there's fuckloads of people making content about it. Whereas if you look for dog play training, there are very few videos who accurately match that. So YouTube is
Oh.
supplementing it by giving a lot of other dog-related videos.
That's why all those other things were coming up. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that means if you make video specifically about that, it has a much higher chance of ranking. Because
Okay.
YouTube will show videos from smaller YouTubers if it thinks they're more relevant than the videos
I
from
love
big
it.
YouTubers. If it doesn't
I
think they're
love
more
it.
relevant, then it's just going to show the big YouTubers.
That is amazing information. Thank you, Jack. That's pretty good.
YouTube Buddy. Did you ever install
Yeah,
that?
I did. I just don't use it. I just don't really. Yeah. I probably should take a course on TubeBuddy. I don't want to though.
No, you don't even.
I'd rather you tell me what's going on.
This is all you need to know. This is literally it. I can share the screen for just a second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry, this stuff's all over the place, but I searched for it. I gotta move this so it's not. There we go. I searched for dog play training. This is normal.
Uh-huh.
Then on the right here, you see the score.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just using YouTube.
Oh, and
normally,
they
so-
even have a graphy thing so you know what it means, what the
Yeah.
information, how good it is. Oh,
Like
wow.
if you search for just dog play, for example, that's what you were like. This is what you were talking about. Is that there's tons and tons of people searching, but it's incredibly competitive, right? So even though
Yeah.
the most amount of people is searching, there's so little chance that you're gonna rank that it's not really worth pursuing. Whereas if you just
Yeah.
add one word, there's tons of people searching for that.
Interesting.
And there's a very few amount of people who are optimizing for it. So do you understand what optimizing for it means?
Using keywords and saying it a lot in the video.
Basically, yeah. Saying the phrases in the video, in the title, in the description, in the tags. If the keywords occur in all of these places, that is a fully optimized video for that specific phrase.
And so it's okay, because I do this with my little eBay thing that I fool with. It's called What Sold on eBay, and then every time I do a title, I put What Sold on eBay dash, and then whatever I'm talking about in that video.
Yeah.
So is that proper? I don't really see that happening that much, but isn't that a good idea? So that's how I would do the training thing too.
It depends.
Like every title should every title say dog?
If keyword research led you to the phrase "what sold on eBay," then yes, you should do that. But that's something that you just picked, right? It's just the name of the series.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what? I guess I'm not asking the question the right way. So because of the ranking we found out for dog play training, where there's a lot of demand for the word, but not a lot of people covering it, would that be a good idea to put that in every single title? Every single title would say.
That would be the perfect name for a series of videos.
Okay. And I would probably just name the channel. I would just have a separate channel. Just I like to have it separate like that, and just call it dog play training.
One thing to keep in mind with separate YouTube channels, I've learned a lot more about this recently because of. Let me stop sharing. There we go. Once you prove yourself on YouTube, YouTube will automatically push your videos regardless of what they're about. So I've experimented with having other channels, and I can tell you from direct experience that I can publish the same video on a new channel and on my own channel, and it performs exponentially better on my own channel regardless of what the content is. The reason for that is because there's some kind of audience who will watch your video no matter what, and this gives beginning data to YouTube, and then YouTube pushes it. But without that initial amount of data, YouTube doesn't have enough to feel confident in pushing your video. So it is good to have separation of YouTube channels, but don't think that it's a horrible thing to post different kinds of content on the YouTube channel. That's definitely not, it's not as ideal, but even if you just get one video that gets you a bunch of subscribers, you then have an advantageous position because any video you post on that channel is going to perform better than a video that you post on a brand new channel. And this is something I've learned a lot from gaming content.
Yeah, I remember you talked about that, and that's why it's good to just use your own name, because then you could just do whatever, and it doesn't matter.
This
I don't
channel
really
in
like
the
using my name.
interests of the human by this name.
Right. And there's probably a lot of people that are interested, have similar interests. I mean, there was a woman on, oh, it's in Chris's network, kind of. You know, there was a bunch of girls that did reseller or something. They did a show that they were doing all the time. Anyway, one of them was a dog sitter also. She had a lot of different interests, and she did a whole show on dog sitting. And I'm sure that they probably got some traffic from YouTube because they had a track record. But but even some of the eBayers were probably interested in, you know, this other side hustle too, you know.
That effect is so strong that even for me, when I post video game content on my YouTube channel, almost none of my subscribers want video game content. I'm talking about like 2 or 3% of my subscribers. But the reason I do it is because I have tried running a new channel, and I post videos on there, and they don't get any kind of attention at all, and zero growth. Whereas I can post a channel on this one, and it actually gets attention. Like I have a video game related video right now that has 20,000 views. I've made hundreds of videos on my other channel, and the most they've ever gotten is like 30. It literally just doesn't work. But anything I post on this channel gets way more attention.
Okay.
That just
you can't argue with the data. You can't argue with the data. So I think what I'm going to do, because I just like to think ahead, plan a little bit. I think I'm going to do one thing. It won't be with my name maybe, but some other thingy, some other name, fanciful name I come up with. And then I just do whatever on there, like you're doing. You know, just whatever strikes my fancy that week.
I want to be clear that, say that you're in a scenario where you're making YouTube businesses and you are committed to making a lot of content on each of the new channels for like a year or two, you're going to be better off separating the content. But if you're experimenting and you aren't sure that you're going to be able to make a lot of content in each specific niche, then you are better off just putting it all on one channel. And then when one video gets attention, then maybe you can make that the theme of that channel. But the reality is that, like, people aren't gonna, if you get one video and it's about eBay and you did a bunch of these videos about dog walking, those videos aren't going to affect your channel at all. People are just going to think you're an eBay channel. They're going to be confused when they look at your old videos, but most of them never will.
Yeah.
Like, most people who are subscribed to me think I still dropship. Like, it's crazy. I haven't done that in like 2 years, you know, but that's the reality.
Okay, yeah, I think for now I'm very experimental these days. I'm definitely not committed to anything. So I think it would be best for me to just have the one channel, like you said. And I don't have traction on any channel. So, I mean, even that's not really. But it's probably, probably just as well to just play around with whatever. Whatever I feel like doing that week on one channel. Whatever I'm feeling.
That's how I run it, but people
see
would
what sticks.
disagree with that for sure.
Well, you have the data, though, to show that you get more traffic by doing it on one channel.
The thing is, people who are really professional would know that they're going to keep making content and that so they like it's not advisable if you actually are going to make 100 videos. It's not advisable to mix them all in one channel.
No, I get you.
But
I get you. I'm a little more like
operate that way. We're just going to make content about what we're interested in.
I'm definitely more like yourself and that kind of thing, and probably Kimmy when she does it because she's really into her drop shipping, prep center, and everything. Seems like she'd be. I could be wrong about this, but seems like she'd be more focused on just that. Like Chris Lynn, he's not. He just focuses on eBay and reselling, So yeah, I'm just not in that place. I'm not really committed to anything yet. I hope I am someday, maybe in a year or so.
Yeah, if you want to, you will.
Yeah.
Got any ideas for a course for this week?
Not yet.
See,
I'm gonna look
showing
right
the
now.
Skillshare. I was really inspired by that music creation thing. Not for
Yeah.
anything musical, but I still can. I've had multiple moments where I've thought about him talking about songwriting, and he was like, "You just got to do it every day. And the first couple days, nothing's gonna happen, and that's okay, because it's a process. And then after 4 or 5 days, you'll just work." And that's exactly what happened to me with the Spanish content website and making videos for my YouTube channel. I did it 4 or 5 times, and then I just found myself
Mhm.
working on the content. It
That's
was great.
cool. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's the best way when you're
I wonder if
inspired.
there's any mycology.
Oh, I'll bet there is.
About painting much. There's a lot of courses on Skillshare about painting much.
Wow.
Mushroom.
Would not have guessed that that would be a huge topic, but okay.
Art is huge on Skillshare, so there are always going to be more courses on Skillshare about something related to art than anything else.
I think I might have found something you guys might like.
Okay.
I just looked up best Skillshare courses. I just Googled it. And there's a course by Gary Vaynerchuk called Context is Key, Social Media Strategy in a Noisy Online World. This course will teach you how to most effectively tell your brand story across a variety of different platforms. Each social media platform is slightly different, so what works for Facebook may not necessarily work for Twitter, etc.
Works for me. Cool. You found
Yeah?
a course.
Okay.
Yep, I like that idea. How long is that one?
It's
I don't know.
an hour and 20 minutes? An hour and 30
That's
minutes.
doable.
Yep, that's doable.
Yeah.
Weekly courses. Oh, I shared the links in the courses thing. You guys noticed. Awesome. All right. Is there anything you guys want to talk about or share before we end?
Goals are garbage.
You mean, wait, no, yeah, goals are garbage.
I don't know, I'm just being silly.
Goals are
I
garbage.
just like it. I just want to say it every week, once or
Get
twice.
that as a tattoo.
There's a lot of people that would probably disagree with that, but
No,
well.
There is something to be said. So I've met a lot of people now who have a lot of money, and I can't say that I've met a lot of people who are present and enjoying their lives. And I don't see a correlation between the two. And that's very disturbing, to be honest. It's super disturbing because it shows that you can pursue money and become very financially successful while still having absolutely zero in the moment life, not appreciating what's in front of you. It's completely possible, and in some ways that mentality is actually the path of least resistance. So
That's a path of least resistance?
I think so. To become more complacent about the world and less present because you're so obsessed with all these different social medias and technologies. A lot of people I meet with a lot of money are really egotistic. I'm not saying they're all like that, but it's common. It's definitely really common. There's a lot of narcissism, this kind of stuff. A lot of selfishness. There's a correlation with narcissism and selfishness and these kind of traits that lead to people thinking they're going to be able to earn more money, and because the reality is we all can earn more money, you just have to not think you can't. That means that people do actually earn more money when they have these character traits, but they're not earning more because of those character traits. It's just a coincidence, basically. Right?
Well, they're
It's not a
focused. They're
requirement.
focused.
Yeah,
I think it's their
they're
focus.
focused, but they're assholes.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was my last landlady. She knows how to make money, and she will work herself half to death to get money, and she keeps making money, and no matter how screwed up her personal life is and everything else, she just keeps making money. But yeah, I totally see that with her. I like to think there are people out there with lots of money that aren't like that.
There
I like to
absolutely
think.
are, but
Okay,
they are
good.
not more common than the other one. At least from my perspective. In my opinion, they're not more common. But that's kind of why I really relate to the whole goals are garbage concept, because it really should be about understanding what you value and what you enjoy, and doing that with regularity and persistence, not idolizing about a number that you want to accomplish, a thing you want to be able to say about yourself. It inherently is more, it relies on more of an egotistical fuel instead of a fuel of enjoying the process. For me personally, what's the point if you're not enjoying the process?
Well, that's it. That's kind of why I've been like kind of what might seem to some like flaky lately. I'm just trying to figure out, how I can do okay financially, well enough, and enjoy my life. And one of the things I've seen is like the last couple, I don't know, months, I've been more social. I've allowed myself to be more social and not like just in my head all the time about making money.
Yeah.
And not doing anything because I'm paralyzed and all that. And so I think one of the things I'm realizing is I want to collaborate with dog trainers, I think. I know a lot of dog trainers, and I enjoy talking about dog things with them and training and stuff, even though I don't want to be a trainer myself. Just mainly
You want to be
the
involved
physical
with
aspect.
other people.
I want to be involved with it on some level, so I don't know exactly how, and this, I could change my mind next week, but, just what I'm, yeah, and it's just interesting when you allow yourself to, like, let yourself be who you are, like, let yourself think about what you enjoy, and it's just kind of amazing. It's just, it doesn't, and I always thought, I think you've talked about this, Jack, before. I always thought I was an introvert, and sometimes I thought I don't like people, but it's not that. I need to be around people that there's some things in common with.
Yeah.
That we have a common interest or interests, and that's an important distinction. I can't just go into a big crowd of people and feel okay. I don't really.
Even two sociopath serial killers could meet and discuss their mutual interest and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't think
Probably.
anyone's actually like that. Yeah, it's very misleading to think of ourselves like we're either introverted or extroverted.
Right.
We are being in an introverted state, but that doesn't mean we're incapable of extroversion, because extroversion is just interaction with other humans.
Yeah, when I'm talking about
humans we enjoy.
Yeah, when I'm talking to somebody who's interesting, or I'm sharing information with someone who's interested in what I'm saying, it's the stuff of life. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best. It's the best. I light up. I'm an extrovert in those situations. I have to calm myself down, and I get a little, a little wound up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head out. This was great.
All right. Thank you, Jack.
See you guys next week.
You too. Bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.